we have our learning experience platform that we've just launched. It's littered with e-learnings that you can do depending on what you sign up for with us. There's these mentor calls, and then we're actually building in a lot of interactive experiences. Let me just switch my view here. So this is the Riscure Academy platform. So participants will sign up, and they'll kind of start together, and we support with all the communication around it. And so there's a pre-assessment, and then there's the actual courses in the program, which typically we structure into weeks. And then there's the calls that we do with Zoom links in there, and then there's a post-assessment. Let me show you what interactivity looks like. So we built something earlier this year. So when you go into this course, for example, which is pitfalls of designing a secure bootloader, designing a bootloader, pitfalls, and there's all this e-learning material which is broken down into smaller chunks so that it's palpable and easy to work into your day. And then in some cases we have exercises that are baked into the course, and so you get some instructions and you go through and read all the stuff, and you've learned about this in the course, and then to practice in this case, there's a faulty bootloader code that you have to go and fix. And so we've actually embedded the practice platform into our learning platform. So it's very low barrier to go and practice what you've learned. In this case, like I said, it's a faulty bootloader source code, and you can simulate a bunch of fault injections, skips and bit flips and all the things that I don't know very much about, but my colleagues are very skilled at. And it fires it at the source code, and it will give us back where all the faults are, where all the vulnerabilities are. And the trick to this exercise is to go and fix it. And so at a certain point, when you've corrected everything that you need to correct based on what you've learned, you can win by fixing the code. So I'll stop this one, and then once you actually make your adjustments in the source code, you simulate again, and then it'll actually change the number of vulnerabilities that we found. And once you get that down to a certain threshold, say 5 or 0, depending on the challenge, it's confetti, and you actually get in this case you actually get confetti in this screen once you've reduced the vulnerabilities. So that's sort of a hands-on way to practice, and it makes it real, because just reading source code on a page isn't going to do it, right? You have to get hands-on. There's this other cool thing that we've developed called the Riscuberry, which is a super fancy board that could be anything. We could load that with being a modem or a smartphone or a Bluetooth speaker, and we actually send to the participants a box with the Riscuberry and oscilloscopes and a bunch of cables, FTDI stuff, USB cables, and people can actually get hands-on, and it's all baked into the training, into the online training. And then again, at the end of the week, you spend time with an expert going through what challenges you might have found, or what trying to put this stuff into context. So this really makes it practical and fun and engaging, and we're working on 4, 5, 6 more of these ideas of how to make training interactive and actually applicable. So in terms of the types of programs that we support, I won't go into the details, but there's awareness, there's theory and skills, we have skills labs, and we have Riscure tools. So awareness is like understanding ISO 21434 or common criteria for developers. It's really just to get a good basic level of understanding about a certain topic. Theory and skills is already a lot more hands-on. So, basics of embedded systems, which is like a 4-course program, secure coding, which goes into memory corruption and side channel and fault injection. We have skills labs, which are a lot more hands-on, typically actually one-day workshops where we put theory into practice. And then we also do Riscure tools training, which is essentially learn how to do SCA and FI using our tools. because, well, we build tools, so that's the low-hanging fruit there. Um, and it helps customers to make the most of our tool sets. So how do we structure that uh, into this build your own curriculum that I spoke about? Well, it really depends on the use case for you. Sometimes it's onboarding support where we can reduce the time to productivity for a beginning engineer in terms of their security knowledge from 4 to 2 months by going through a structured program involving or structured curriculum involving multiple programs. And then you can repeat that. The, the new joiners of the past 6 months go through an onboarding program, and we do that twice a year. And we can structure that in such a way that it doesn't impact the business too much, but it does provide a lot of efficiency in the onboarding program. In the example on the right here, let me just move myself out of the way. Where am I? Oh, there I am. We were working with a government organization that essentially asked us, okay, give us everything you got in such a way that you would hire that person. And so we got together, we looked at our portfolio, and we said, okay, you know what? This is the structure that we're going to go through, and at the end, it's going to culminate in an examination week. And it's going to be like pretty hardcore program. In this case, it's 12 weeks. We'd probably actually put it into 20 weeks to space it out a bit more. But it's super hardcore, and it gets somebody to the level that we would hire them, and that's what this customer needed. This is, of course, a pretty extreme example. Another interesting part of this is we're not going to shun classroom training completely. It's important for us that we still get hands-on and we see people and we spend time in a high pressure situation. But we do that in the context of a full curriculum. So that we start with those basics in the sort of hybrid model, and then we fly out to the customer and spend a week there working on challenges and assignments, and then we go back and sort of do that again. And then we think that this will provide a lot of flexibility, and would be so interested to hear from you what use cases you would need, whether it's onboarding, whether it's reskilling a team, whether it's upskilling beginners, whether it's getting somebody to the level of analyst, if that's what you need. Those are the use cases we're looking for, and we think that our modular set of programs is really going to be conducive to a wide variety of use cases.